All right. So let's get after it, man. The Wrestle Discourse has pretty much IWC, national, international, promotion wide, everyone. Wrestle Talk Discourse has strictly been like our truth for the most part for like the last almost 14 days straight. So I'm gonna stitch the timeline together of what's been going on and what's been happening. And I'm gonna kind of show you chronologically for those who don't know what happened. So let's go ahead and get into this, man. So this dude, he main evented Saturday night's main event. Saturday night's main event commercials. Because we all know that's pretty much what that thing is. But here's what he said a few days after that, which kind of took me by shock. I was like, yo, didn't he just main event? Like, how is he released a few days later or his contract's not getting renewed? All right. So here we go. This is his statement. He said, "I'm sorry to inform you all, I just got released from WWE. I want to thank WWE for the ride, but mostly I want to thank each and every one of you who was along for the ride. Thank you all for the love, support, and appreciation you have given me over the years. Thank you," with the prayer hands. When I saw that, man, moment of silence. I was like, we're cooked. We are cooked. No way. But so here's what happened a few days after that, or almost like a week or so after that. This was Money in the Bank last night.
Who the hell? Somebody's beat. A spear on Cena. Oh my God!
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my God!
Jesus Christ.
Wait a minute. Who the?
So, R-Truth returned. R-Truth returned. Now, I will say this, whether if it was a work or a shoot, let me at least say this. We got what we wanted.
Pulls up three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good.
It may not have been how we wanted it to happen, but it happened, right? So he returned, and look what this guy said. This was one of the greatest moments in WWE history. We all got worked.
Man, you stupid dumb, man.
We all got worked. R-Truth is back in WWE. So here's what happened after the pay-per-view. This is what Triple H said at the media scrum.
Was he actually released or leaving the company? And if so, how much did fans play a role in it? Or was there something else that made you guys decide, like, you know what, we want this guy still here?
I love the question. You enjoying the show? Whole part of the show, man.
Was he actually
Let's hear this one more time to make sure I got this straight. Because ain't no way he's going to try to take credit for that. Ain't no way.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Let's make sure we heard it correctly.
released or leaving the company? And if so, how much did fans play a role in it? Or was there something else that made you guys decide, like, you know what, we want this guy still here?
I love the question. You enjoying the show? Whole part of the show, man.
Whatever, man. So they're gonna act like they took credit for it. Cool. I think it's a collage of stuff. I think they're now going to use it as a work, but it originally was a shoot situation where this actually happened, where it was a collage of stuff. I think it's a collage of things. TKO, how they're dealing with stuff now. Some people were saying that he was overdue his stay, like his stay was overdone. Some people were saying, hey, this dude's a mentor, a locker room leader, and all this other stuff, and beloved by the fans. I mean, look at this, 22 million on him saying this, and this wasn't even everyone else reposting it. I'm talking from top to bottom of the roster. Look, Ricochet's in AEW, and he like, it doesn't matter. That's why in the beginning of this video I said promotion wide, international, everyone. He's one of those guys that everyone loves, and they let him go like that. And I was like, bro, how do you do that? But anyways, so that goes back to this bot who said, bro, if you guys have seen this dude's Twitter, he posts in all caps for everything. It doesn't matter what company it is. He'll do this for every company. Like, oh my gosh, like, those people who fake react to stuff because they want to get put in the promo package.
Man, you stupid dumb, man.
Like that type of people. But look what this person said underneath this video. This goes to the rule that the media is not entitled to know everything. All right, man, if you say so. So they should know everything. So why is this straight from the horse's mouth himself, R-Truth says this is not a work. We did not get worked. Okay? And let's look at further down the stitch, the line of the what happened, the station of events. R-Truth's son, Christopher Killings, after what Triple H addressed, he said, bro, stop the cap, man. Stop the cap. Don't try to act like this was all part of the show and you guys didn't fumble.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Let's not do that, right? So his son said, stop the cap. And then we go after what happened, and he posted that he's back, and all this stuff happens. Then the son posts again and says, congrats on the new deal, Dad. One last run. So we're getting one last run out of R-Truth. We don't know how long this deal's going to last. We don't know. I was hearing some of the dirt sheets saying that he was going to get a gimmick change. Who knows? I will say, though, I did see his face a little bit more serious. Like when he hit Cena with the thing and he took the mask off, he had a different look in his eye. It wasn't the same fake blank thing that he does where he acts clueless. He looked like, so who knows? But another thing that I want to say, and I want to bring this up real quick, is when they act like, hey, you're not allowed, when we don't react the way they want us to react, don't get psyoped into thinking that your opinion does not matter. Because that's one thing that happens all the time, is when we don't react the way they want us to react, they act like we're the problem. Now, obviously, sometimes the IWC and people who are in the audience, we over fantasy book, which is an issue, or we want things to be a certain way, or we already booked something in our head, and it's not best long-term or storyline-wise or whatever it is, and we kind of fantasy book, which is an issue, but don't act like we aren't the lifeblood. Now, obviously, the wrestlers are the lifeblood as well, and it's a dance. It takes two to tango. They're risking their lives, traveling every week, all year long, without their families and all this other stuff, taking years off their life, some of them, and respect to them for that. But the two to tango part, the dance, that's why the pandemic era was so trash. Because literally, there was no fans there. There was no connection. They couldn't feed off our energy. We couldn't. And we're the lifeblood of this thing. I mean, whenever when Sammy turned, or whenever Cena just turned just now, and the audience reaction made it what it is. And even AEW, whenever you see like the pay-per-views, man, some of these matches, every single move, like the crowd reaction make these guys feel like they're just these Greek gods or something, man. Like sometimes they're not even touching each other. Hold on, let me show you guys this real quick. Right? Let's just real quick. Here's a perfect example right here.
The same could be said about our All Elite Wrestling World Champion Kenny Omega. This is truly
look at the crowd.
A dream match. Danielson looks poised. He looks confident, but so does Omega. Paul Turner calls for the pin. Here we go. Let's get after this.
Yeah.
What a dream match. These guys can hear it as well as we can. The fans are on their feet.
Do you feel that?
And these two men have yet to lock up.
You heard what JR just said? They're yet to lock up. They didn't even lock up yet, and the crowd audience is just... So whenever, like literally this happened to the build up to WrestleMania 41 this year, where what were they saying the most? What was Triple H and The Rock and all these guys and see what were they all telling us? Shut up, stop trying to book this thing, stop calling us out. And this is something that all media does when they get stuff wrong. They don't want to admit when they're wrong, and that's what's happening again right now. They're, oh, it was a work, but really, it was a work.
How, Sway?
You sure? But they don't want to admit when they're wrong, right? And literally, all these media companies have been doing this lately. Marvel and Disney, they dropped the ball since Infinity War. The NBA viewership's dropped. They've ruined it with gambling and all this other stuff, so now the game is slowed down. Nobody wants to play hard anymore. WWE dropped the ball since after Cody finishing the story. The Rock coming in to be involved randomly. AEW, when they weren't focusing on their own booking. When they were kind of just hotshot booking stuff. WWE not striking when the iron's hot. LA Knight. Daniel Bryan. Who else? Zack Ryder. It's another example. Andrade before he left. There's just so many examples of like, yo, y'all just need to strike. Karrion Kross. Come on, man. Like, there's just so many examples of when they don't listen and they don't want to admit when they're wrong. Now, I will give AEW just a little bit of grace here because they do admit sometimes when they're wrong. Like, okay, we're going to pivot. We're going to focus on this. and we're gonna try to put our best product on for you guys, and that's about it. But other than that, they don't really admit when they're wrong. None of these companies do, which is whatever. But they want to act like literally the whole build up to WrestleMania 41. It was terrible, and literally they kept saying, "Shut up, stop trying to book this." And this is the honeymoon phase of the Triple H era being over a little bit. And they're like, "Yo, man, this really ain't it, man." And they were saying, "Stop telling us how to book. Enjoy the ride. You're ruining it because you're critiquing it. We're invested in it, duh. Like, what do you mean, bro?
How, Sway?
Like, what are you talking about?" And literally, The Rock, whenever we don't react the way they want us to react, what is he saying? "Man, you guys are taking it too serious, man. It's a shoot, or it's a work. We're working you guys, man. Stop taking it so serious. Just enjoy the ride that the Rock cock is taking you on." Damn. I'm like, yo, all right, man, whatever, bro. Like, it is what it is. But like, this is literally showing you what's going on. So here's what Triple H said. Here's another perspective, actually.
That this is a work, just think about it. Does it sound like a work to you? Does
No,
it
it does
sound
not.
like your typical WWE work? With the fans, unfortunately, they're going to believe what they want regardless of, what the evidence is and what they hear to the contrary. You got to stop worrying about what you want it to be. You got to worry about what it is. And I think the fans really, I don't know why, but they really desperately want it to be a work. Why?
Not gonna lie, when I started seeing some people praise, like they were apologizing to TKO, I was like, yo, we're done, man. We're done. Because what do you, man?
So they can tell social media that was all a work, most likely. So
Example
I think
A,
that
Exhibit
anybody
A.
who's claiming that it's a work, it's because that's what they want.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, fans sometimes can't separate what they want
From what it is.
from what reality is.
Yep, what it
And
is.
to me, when I judge this situation without a dog in the fight, I don't give a fuck if it's a work or not, to be honest. But when I judge the situation, to me, it does not scream work. It screams the opposite of work, and it screams the same type of scenario that we've seen in the past. Matt Hardy and Daniel Bryan are the first two that come to mind. There might be others, but those are the first two that I can definitely remember WWE letting go and saying, whoopsie, and bringing them back. And we've already got one.
And here's another thing with LA Knight, like morale is at an all-time low for them right now, So when LA Knight didn't win, I'm not gonna lie, bro. When I saw the ladder being climbed, and this is the second or third time in a row when the ladder's being climbed, and he was like the last two. He was the final two before the match was over, and I saw him climbing, and I was like, you know what? We finally finna get it. But once I saw he got thrown off that ladder by Seth, and I saw Seth actually starting to unhook it, pause. When I saw him finally starting to unhook it, man, I just accepted my fate. We're cooked. I'm like, all right, man, it's cool. It is what it is. But with that happening, I'm like, bro, y'all really are going to choose to continue to just make decision after decision. That's just like, yo, what we doing? But here's last thing, and then we're gonna be out of here off this topic, and I'll let you guys kind of just discuss this in the comments, and we can actually go back and forth on this, and because I want to hear what everyone has to say about this, because this is so many perspectives that it's kind of interesting on this. This is the last thing that R-Truth has said. He said, "No cap. We want truth was seen, heard, and felt and understood. Believe me when I say this. I love every one of y'all to death. We made history together." So. We got Unk back, man. We got Unk back. I'm glad to say we got Unk back. But my thing is, we didn't get him and that's fine. You're not going to get everything how you want. The circumstances aren't how we wanted them to be, Yeah. They're kind of weird circumstances, but one way or another, we got Unk back, and, I'm kind of curious to see how this thing will continue to play out. I mean, they already had merch just waiting for this guy, and I was like, wow, let me tell you something, man.
Because Gil, I'm gonna tell you right now.
So they're a machine, and I seen the dirt sheet saying, oh, he was getting like the decision was reversed within 72 hours, blah blah blah. That's more than enough time to get merch set up and all this other stuff. So everything's kind of aligning that this was not a shoot. Or a work. I'm sorry, this wasn't a work. That this was actually an actual real situation, Yeah. But hey, it is what it is. And if people want to say that, oh, you guys are you're overbooking it and you're fantasy booking and, you guys just want to be negative Nancy's, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, if you really want to pay attention to it,
Accusations!
you can make the accusations if you want, but everything is pretty consistent, and everyone, even the insider people, were saying similar stuff to where it kind of aligns that they know they messed up and they had to pivot. So take that how you want to take it, but let me know you guys' thoughts on it in the further discourse. But hey, at the end of the day, we got Unk back, and I think when I saw him come back and I was like, man, he's really back, and they actually listened to us for once. My reaction when I saw, because when I saw this, I was like, oh, this might be our truth. When I saw the ankle, and I saw his back exposed, pause, I was like, yo, Unk might be back. And immediately in my head, I started, you know what? Not even the one hand JBL, the two hand JBL. I was glad Unk is back, man. Unk is back. But anyways, let me know you guys' thoughts on this whole discourse, because this is crazy, man. This is extremely crazy. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter right here, and we can, or X, and we can continue to have this conversation, because this is very interesting to see what's been unraveling, man. Catch you guys in the next one.
New